Hello and welcome to the Neville Richards Premier League. I don't even know what's going on here. Round 11 review, round 12 preview. People have accused me, Mark Hayes, of being one-eyed, but Matthew Milne, you've taken it to a whole new level.
Hazy, I'm all about the Pirates this week. They put the Peakers to the sword. Thank you, Hazy. What a massive week it's been this week.
Kind of an Irish pirate.
Yeah, did you like that?
I was pretty impressed.
Oh, a bit of Johnny Depp action there, but anyway. But yes, what a big round it was this week. Some massive upsets, and the Pirates. Everyone's on the Pirates this week.
You are, for sure.
Yeah, I think I can get rid of that now. I can see. Yes, welcome everybody.
Well, we've abused a few teams, and they've all stood up. It's remarkable.
They have. It was a massive, as I said, the Peakers were on the slide, and that occurred this week with another loss, and the Tornadoes kicked in for 2 in a row, which was fantastic, with a 1-point win over the Bullies.
Let's start there, shall we? I think that's an amazing result, and it really keeps the entire ladder alive.
It does. It was 5th versus 8th, and we had 7 players for the Bullies and 6 for the Tornadoes. For the Bullies, Stan Maskell had 32, Wayne Dixon 31, Swaney 30. The Frenchman Matt Miles 30, and Kev Hudson was a score with 23. That counted that week. You're never going to win with that, but it was nearly good enough. But the Tornadoes, the Orchid, Johnny Hill bloomed again with 32. Paul Kirby 31, Pat Kennedy 29, Judy Sayre 28, and Sean Ward 27. But the hero was Paul Kirby. Last scoring for the day. 31 points, got him over the line by 1. I went to search for more heroics, like maybe a birdie on 18 to get him over the line, but no, he scratched 18. But he did have 3 points on 17, and that was enough there. The Bullies were hoping to try and create some space between the chasing pack, but now they're going to be 1.5 games out of the top 4, which potentially can make it difficult for finals. Our smoking gun last week that we thought for the Bullies, Chris James, he chimed in with 21, which didn't score. There are murmurings of maybe a potential finals redraft, and he gets booted and someone else comes in, but I think that might have just hearsay amongst some competitors.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's the second match to review, I suppose. I guess this was another one where it could have gone either way, but the Hookers continue their little slide, don't they? So the Goblins have gobbled them up.
Yes, the Goblins got them by 3 points, 155 to 152. The Hookers had 9 players, while the Goblins had 7, so good effort from them. For the Hookers, Jilly Barker had 34, Sweeney 33, John Bowman 30, Brian Barrell 28, and Ian Woodhouse on 27, while the Goblins were well served by Gary Haywood again, 35-point top scorer.
Is he, before you move past it, is he working into Drayton?
I reckon there's a chance, and I know today, Tuesday, doesn't count, but he's had another net 69 today in the comp, so He is in seriously white-hot form. We had Pete DeFazio 31, Dale Pollock 31, Jen Edmondson 29, and Dan Hopgood 29. The Hookers could be considered unlucky this week. I've spoken to a couple of their players, like Alan Sweeney, one of our more consistent golfers. Finished with, 33 points, and he had 1 point on the 8th where he gets the shot and wiped the 9th, which was his last 2 holes. And then the biggest choke of all was actually from Jill Barker.
She's been a good nick.
She had 34 points, but with that she was 30 points after 13.
Oh, gee.
And finished wipe, 1-1-2.
Wow.
So that might have cost the Hookers that victory there.
Did she have a little look at the leaderboard?
Well, she did say she thought she was on target for 40. But Hazy, we did have some information this week about, we've had our first Premier League baby.
We have. We've been potting him a little bit on and off, but now we're absolutely chuffed, like in all seriousness, we're absolutely chuffed to welcome little Emma Prime to the world. So Toby and Angela have had their first little daughter, hit the deck last week, and I think...
Yes, Toby was apologetic about not being able to play Saturday, but I just tried to encourage him that now's the best time to get out while you can. But what we would do in great Premier League what generosity that we have here, that we've created a little mascot item here for young Emma. We've got the Goblins logo on the back. Isn't that beautiful? So she can go out in support for her dad. But then we also have our favourite player in there, Brian King. So we've got to have a bit of me time. So we'll pass this along to Toby to pass on. I'm sure that Emma will wear it with glee.
Imagine having Kingy on. Rough introduction to life.
It would be. No, I can't even say anything nice after that.
Anyway, congrats to Toby and Ange, and we're thrilled that we've had a Premier League baby to the added to the crew. Matt, the next game up for discussion was the 20 Acre Warriors. They really gave a bit of the pounding to the Crusaders.
They did. We had 6 players for the Crusaders and 8 for the Warriors. For the Crusaders, Brian Hazel, 31, Normie Evans 30, Manny Golfers 28, Jahen Cogger 25. So I think your bet's looking pretty good there, Hazy.
25. So that means to avoid wearing the Where's Wally costume, she's got to have 32 next time she plays.
Correct. She's gone to New Zealand for a little bit of an R&R, but when she's back, she'll need 32. So I reckon it's a fair chance that she's in the Where's Wally outfit next time she plays.
Does look that way.
Yeah, so then we had Robbie Stiglbauer 25. For the Warriors, Jeanette Johnson returned with 35, Darren Wilson 34, Nipper Dodds 30, Richie Howes 29, and then a 28 score from either Stewie Anderson and Neil Howard was counted. The Warriors continued their dominance over the Crusaders. Hazel did respond to a bit of ribbing, but 31 points is still disappointing and doesn't cut it, and you're not going to win if your best score's 31.
But he has lifted to be the best in his team.
Yeah, well, it's only 2 more than his average, or 1 more than his average, so I wouldn't say it's too good.
So he didn't really smack you around the head with some giant sticks.
No, he was very proud of it though, but he still didn't lift as much as I wanted him to.
Which brings us to the big game. Amazing. The Pirates been given a bait from us, but they copped it from one of their own, Peter Solahub.
Peter. He was on the messages all Saturday afternoon to see how they were going. And it was the Pirates got over the line and they smoked them in the end, 162 to 143.
Wow.
Pirates had 7 players while the Peakers had 5, which just goes to show you need all hands on deck if you're going to compete in this event. For the Pirates, Jay McGrath had 36. Mickey McNeil 35, Darren Heaton come back to some form with 35, Johnny Powell and Dave Newman had 28, while the Peakers were led by Chris Dodds, 31 again, leading scorer, not going to win many games with that. Rich West had 29, Yarny had 29, Pete O'Neill had 28, and McMurrich had 26.
Off the boil?
So, as I said...
Off the boil, Lee?
The Peakers are on the sag. I did warn you, but all accolades to the Pirates. Newly promoted captain, Mr. McNeil, excelled. And the much vaunted strength of the Peakers just wasn't there. So I'm actually starting to think that it might be the Vogels and Mrs. Milne might be the strength over Yarny and Leroy, because that's now 2 in a row that they've lost. And that top place is actually dangling in front of the Goblins.
It is. Now let's just have a quick one about Justin McGrath. I was led to believe that he might have had, because he's playing off 3, handicap 3, that he had 20-ish, 22 points maybe.
He was 3 under through 4 or 5 early on.
Might have 22 points on the front 9, or his first 9, which is extraordinary golf for a short handicap. That's I think they're rounding into some worthy form.
Yes, well, the interesting part's going to be is whether the captain's armband gets back to Solahub this week. I don't know if he can just automatically take it, or whether there's some egos are going to be part of this team now.
Good problems to have. Anyway, let's have a quick peek at the ladder before we start dissecting the round ahead. So I should have mentioned there, Matt, before we get into an extraordinary round ahead, that it was actually the Pirates who got the Callaway prize, thanks to our good friends at Callaway, for the best score for the week.
They did it pretty convincingly, really, and then they just dominated the Peakers.
But that ladder that we just saw, it sets up. I mean, it's an amazing. Well, it's not a coincidence. I don't know what it is. It's just a quirk of the draw. But we've set up one of the more amazing rounds of Premier League golf you'll ever see. This week ahead, round 12. This is where it's all going to happen. I reckon we'll see wheat, chaff, men, boys, whatever you want to say. This is the week that's going to split them all.
It is, and I think, Hayes, it's probably a good thing to announce as well that with this round of golf coming up being so important, that they need to take a leaf out of your book. You're here under extreme duress today. I saw you in the Geelong Cats change rooms at the end of the game on TV Saturday night, and now you've pulled up with a sore back. So I'm just wondering what's happened over the last couple of days. You can hardly move, you're drugged up, you're a bit off with the fairies, but this is what all players should be striving for, is to go by this guy's effort.
To be sitting here off my chops.
Yeah.
That's what everyone should strive for?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, no, nothing to do with the footy, I can assure you of that. But this week, Matt, just as I said, the quirk of the draw, 1v2, 3v4, 5v6, 7v8. So it's the chance to really not only make your move on others, but to bury one of your nearest rivals on the ladder.
There is, and it's a couple of real tight ones here, and there will be some teams that will be, their finals aspirations will be finished after this week.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I thought we might start with the Hookers and the Warriors.
Righto.
Three versus four. Last time that they met, the Hookers lost by 2 points, 163 to 165. The stars for the Hookers were Kenny Hughes on 36 and Brian Barrell on 34, while the Hookers had Stewie Anderson on... Warriors had Stewie Anderson on 37 and Darren Wilson on 34. If the Hookers lose, there is a chance that they will drop to 4th on percentage and the Warriors will go above them on the ladder. The Hookers, I expect, will return Ian Francis this week after being 6 weeks away. The Hookers will need consistency from Bowman, Hughes, Sweeney, while the Warriors will need that consistency from Skeeter, Stewie and Richie. I think Ando Wooden could be the surprise this week. It's been 3 weeks since COVID. He's had 34 and then 27. My only concern is I hope the trend doesn't drop away and he drops another 7 and goes back to 20. But we'll see what he's made of this week.
What do you think he's made of?
I think he can fire for his team.
Really?
I've got some faith in him.
So that's your prediction this week?
Ando.
Just Ando, not the teams?
Ando, at least 32 to this week.
32, wow, okay. Next game, do you want to have a crack at the Pirates and the Bullies maybe?
The Pirates and the Bullies. Well, they'll be cock-a-hoop last week. Soda Pop was up and about. The master stroke of not playing. As I said, will Mickey give up the armband? I'm not completely convinced of that. But big implications for top 4, actually. If the Bullies lose this week, I think finals are going to be over. They'll go 1.5 out of the top 4. They'll need to win their last 2 and rely on results. And in the last 2 rounds, the Bullies will play the Goblins and the Peakers.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so very, very tough run home for them. Last time they met, the Pirates gave the Bullies a rogering 163 to 145. Mickey had 40, Joy Francis 32. She'll be back this week as well. While the Bullies had Jackie Rowan 31 and Malesy 30. So they've actually been in some decent form as well this time around. So hopefully they will kick back into some form. The Bullies are the most frustrating team in the league, I would say. Wealth of stars, but I'll ask you a question, Hazy.
Yes.
What would you say is a pass mark for an average score in this? What would you say is a pass mark? 28 points, 30, 32?
What I would expect or what the maths tells me?
Well, what would you think?
I'd like to think that if I teed it up on a regular basis, you'd get to 30.
Right, so if we go above 30 points, there's only 3 players in the Bullies that have averaged above 30.
Right.
And that's the Frenchman Matt Miles, Anthony Swain and Jackie Rowe. So I put it to the other Bullies players, and I'll mention them: Fiona Newman, Chris James, Kevin Hudson, John Wooden, Wayne Dixon, Stan Maskell, Bill Reid. You need to lift.
There it is, the Milne missile. It's a broad one too. It's a scattergun.
It was. I'm just taking everyone out.
Wow. It's not good numbers when you put it that way.
3 out of their 10 have only averaging above 30 at the moment.
Wow. Yeah, it's a good missile. I like that one. Now, let's have a look at, I guess if we say it's the bottom of the ladder clash, it sort of takes the gloss off it because there's a bit riding on it.
There is. It is. As you said, the bottom of the table clash. Tornadoes are finding form. Last time they met, the Crusaders got up by 7. They were led strongly by Johnny Leaking on 35 and Sue Holland 32, and also Rob Stig, while the Tornadoes had Paddy Kennedy on 32 and the Orchid Hill on 32. If the Tornadoes win this week, they'll leap over the Crusaders on the ladder and into 7th. I think the Tornadoes have been sort of at the base of the ladder pretty much all season, so it'd be great if they can do that. Sources tell me the Crusaders will not be with Jan Cogger, won't be here this week. Bill Adams won't be. So it's about pride this week for these teams, and I hope a full complement might turn up and have some pride in their logo. The big question is, will the Comet play this week? Haley's Comet, will he be in for the Crusaders?
I think Haley's Hoskin is he's working towards his next game. It's definitely on the horizon that he might sneak out here one Saturday.
Really? Yeah, I was a bit concerned when I took his photo the other day of what it would be used for, but I just told him it was for presentation night of our Premier League, so we wanted a photo of everybody. So yes, it'll be used in.
We might need that photo to remember what he looks like on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, well, I'm sure his teammates don't know.
Which brings us, Matt, to the this. Well, it once looked like a potential grand final preview, but right now it's just a hope, really, that the Peakers can stick the anchor in and find some ground to cling to.
Yes, it is. Like last time they met, there was only 2 points separating, so even contest where the Peakers got up 169 to 167. Last time the Goblins were led by Pete DeFazio on 36, Toby Prime and Daniel Hopgood on 34, while McMuffin had 37, Norma Vogel 35 and Yarni had 34. So the nucleus of that team performed, which they aren't doing at the moment. If the Goblins win, they will dethrone the drooping Peakers on top of the ladder next week. And they've been on the top of the ladder since round 5. So it will be a massive if that happens. The Peakers will welcome back the travelling Vogels and Bull Thompson, but they will, I believe, lose Pete O'Neill. Both teams won't have my mother and father, so that just evens that out. And
you've promoted your father back up to being equal status.
Yeah, equal status there. I just think with the consistency of Gary Haywood, Flea Pollock, Daniel Hopgood, we can't rely on McMuffin and Lathuris anymore. So they've wilted terribly the last few weeks. Toby should be up and about for the Goblins as well after the newborn. So that's if he's allowed out of the house. So I think, the Goblins, who you would have said were probably not going to be favourites, I think will start favourites now.
Yeah, no, I've got him as a warmish favourite. I think Yarni's been seen around the place a lot too. Like he has no excuse.
No, he hasn't, and there is a bit of a rumour that he's probably not even going to be allowed to attend presentation night.
What would that be?
I think the committee of Premier League might ban him.
Really?
Yes, just his behaviour of late. I just don't think he's up to being socially active with all the participants.
Oh, I can't wait to get to the bottom of this.
I have video and photo footage.
Oh no! Oh dear! I don't know. This can't end well.
Yeah.
All right. So you any more missiles to fire across anyone's bow?
No. I think I've hit most of my targets today. I'm just proud that you've hung around and come in and that for today's video. I think it's going to be a great round of Premier League. We've got obviously this Saturday and then 2 more rounds to go. Then it's Carnival of Golf and then finals. Regarding the presentation night, we'll have some more information to come out of that over the next couple of weeks about booking and things like that, because I have had a few members inquire about that and purchasing tickets for their loved ones.
So we'll be online, and it'll be a wholly new automated system. So it's going to be great. It's very slick, as everything with the Premier League.
Yes, we are good. We thank Callaway, we thank Neville Richards, and we love the Pirates.
I can't believe you went with an Irish pirate. I can't believe it. All right, well, that'll be about it for round 11 stroke 12. Great to see you in such ripping form. I can't believe you had to... Where's your sword?
Me sword? Oh, it's... Oh, I think it's lost its glow. Oh no, here it comes. Up the pirates!
See you next week.